the last few weeks, St. Mark's worship team has agreed to try returning to the classic order of worship, as it is practiced in most Lutheran, Episcopalian, Presbyterian, Roman Catholic, and other churches. For 4 weeks, I'm highlighting one change to the order of our worship and explaining why that portion of the service is where it's supposed to be, because our worship is not arbitrary. Since starting at St. Mark's, I have had many people come to me complaining about our time for mission moments and announcements. Many of you have expressed frustration that breaking up the middle of worship, broke up our time of worship. It ruined our momentum. It was hard to transition from the informality of our announcements back to the reverence required for Holy Communion. Well, the fourth part of the Lutheran worship service, the sending, is the most appropriate place for almost all our mission moments and announcements to take place. As we prepare to leave the sanctuary and re-enter God's mission field, our homes, our communities, our world, we celebrate what our community is doing to bring about God's reign, and we listen for opportunities to extend that reign even further. Every time we collect diapers for moms in need, every time we serve meals at the Hope Center, every time we address our legislators in Madison with Sophia, because our worship doesn't conclude at the words of the dismissal, "Go in peace, serve the Lord, thanks be to God." Our worship of God extends into everything we do in service to our neighbor well beyond the church walls. So the announcements help to send us back into the world and to share God's love with all. If you'd like to learn more about our Lutheran worship, I invite you to join us downstairs in the gathering room after worship, where we'll be wrapping up the last week's discussion of the third portion of the Lutheran service, the meal, and concluding this adult forum series with the last part, the sending. And with that, I would like to have our mission moments and announcements. I'd like to invite up Deb Gerner and Deacon Jen Elsenbrook.
It is with great joy that I get to introduce Deacon Jen Elsenbrook to you. We are ever so thankful that you have said yes to our call. And we look forward to a really wonderful time with you. I know you're going to add great things to St. Mark's. But I also would like for your husband to stand up. This is Jason, and he is a great supporter of Jen. And now I would love for Jen to introduce or to tell you more about herself so you can get more familiar.
First of all, I'd love to give this to you. It's just a card to St. Mark's for the incredibly warm welcome that I have received. I see so many familiar faces already because people have introduced themselves to me, and I've been a part of some of the things like Bible study, prayer shawl, and quilting. So it's been great to get to know you, and I look forward to doing it more. So instead of reading what was printed in the bulletin, I'm going to tell you pretty much the same thing, just in a different order. I, like Pastor Laura, worked in education before going to seminary to become a deacon. So the difference is that Pastor Laura went to seminary to become a word and sacrament minister, and I am a word and service minister. So my first call to ministry, let me back up. I graduated and was ordained and rostered in 2023. My first call to ministry was working with the many beloved children of God who are suffering with substance use disorder. I was the chaplain at a recovery center in Marquette, Michigan, not to be confused with Marquette University. Although originally Jason and I are from Grand Rapids, Michigan, we, along with our two sons, Joshua and Jesse, lived in the UP for over 20 years. We, Jason and I, are now living in Milwaukee and love to be back in the city. My call to be a deacon is a call to accompany those who may need someone to walk with them through joys, pains, hardships, or even easy times. We are not created to walk through life alone. So I thank God for allowing me to accompany many of God's beloved children through all sorts of times and struggles. My phone number and email, I think they're in the bulletin, but they're also available through the church office. And I'm planning to be in the office some Mondays and Wednesdays, and especially if someone calls me to do that, and I'll be here every Tuesday and Thursday. I will be taking my Sabbath on Friday. So I would like to thank Pastor Laura, Deb, and the church council for working hard to get all the pieces together so I could begin to do the work God has called me to do. One last thing. You may notice I speak a little bit differently, so I would like to share why. I am a survivor of traumatic brain injury due to a car accident. After lots of therapy, the only real residual effect I have is expressive aphasia. It's a fancy way of saying that I sometimes have difficulty connecting my speech and word finding parts of my brain. I know what I want to say. It just may take an extra minute. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, needs, or would just like to connect sometime. I pledge to pray for each of you, and I thank God for St. Mark's and this opportunity.
I want to say thank you, God, for bringing Jen to us. Thank you for saying yes.
Yes, of course.
Additionally, I'd like to remind you that we have conversations with the council down near the fireplace today, and Mary Ann Sindelar and I will be there, and we are looking forward to sharing coffee with you. So, and then, moving on, I still have one more thing I need to speak to, and that is I've been getting questions about why we have not used the complete amount in our capital needs fund. And I've answered those questions, and I think I should be in full transparency answering those same questions, because they're good questions, for all of you. So I'm going to attempt to just do that right now. And if I don't answer the question that you have, visit us by the fireplace right after the service, and I will attempt to answer whatever else I don't address here. Historically, 5 years ago, we replaced the 24-year-old boiler at a cost of $10,355. The property team at that time recommended starting a capital needs fund because the older boiler was 38 years old. The goal was to put $5,000 into a fund every year, knowing that what was eventually going to come. At the end of 2024, there was $20,000 in that fund. The finance team and the council together decided at that time to pause the contributions so that we might meet our expenses. For example, the elevator, if you remember, and the water issues, and you get the picture. The balance as of February 28th of this year was $18,298. $18,298. We have used the capital needs fund for the required $9,562.27 deposit on the new heating system. Okay, so let's just round things off. We had 18,000 in the account-ish, and we used 9,000-ish for the deposit. That brought us to a balance of approximately $8,736. $8,736 in the capital needs fund that remains there currently. There are other capital needs on the horizon. We are supposed to fill in cracks and seal the parking lot this year. The last time it was done is 2022, and that costs between $5,000 and $7,000. We also need replacement of thermopane windows in areas of our church. Our roof, which is 15 years old, will eventually need help. We're told that roofs last about 25 years, so that's out there a bit, but still a need that's coming. If we raise $28,687, which is what is needed for the heating system, we can replenish our fund for these other needs. Through discussions, the property team, the finance team, and the council decided that it would be in the best interest of our church to set our goal at the full $28,687. Like at our homes, there always seems to be unanticipated happenings. If we would exceed our goal, the intent is to give a charitable community contribution. St. Mark's has a great history of sharing our God-given talents and resources. As Jesus said, when we care for others, we are caring for Him. Historically, we are a giving and generous church. Of course, we want to continue in that tradition and mindset. So, I have left a couple copies of what I've just told you because the numbers, if you're like me, I'm a visual person. I need to see the numbers. I left a couple copies over there on the usher stand. If they're gone, let me know and I can make more copies. But finally, I want to end this with great news. I'm happy to be the bearer of this great news. Drum roll. Last Sunday, you deposited your stones and vegetables to the total sum of $11,860. $11,860. Thank you, God, for making this church so generous. Thank you for nudging our people to open their hearts as they open their wallets. Thank you so much. See you down at the fireplace, maybe.
Thank you, Deb. And now I would like to invite up Lou and Marianne to talk about Gather.
As part of the Gather team on council, we have decided that we are going to approach a number of you on the Gather team.
Yes, and as far as Gather, the groups that are involved in the Gather team are the worship team, property team, music ministry, sacristy, communion preparation, the AV team, prayer ministry, dart ball, college connection, greeting card ministry, funeral meals, senior connection, and visitation ministry. So as part of what this congregation does is we're going to ask these groups to come in and share a small mission moment through the course of the next weeks and months to come. So St. Mark's is involved, the congregation is involved, and we are an awesome church. So thank you.
Thank you, Marianne and Lou. We look forward to hearing from your teams in the time